Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to Scarlet Hollow, the Darkest Timeline. For those of you who are not familiar with the Scarlet Hollow franchise, it is a visual horror novel developed by and published by Black Tabby Games. It is a very, very good title. One of my favourite games of recent times, and one of the very few games that I have 100% achievement hunted on. Now, in the last campaign we played, or the last Let's Play we played in this franchise, we played Jason, a perceptive, relatively athletic individual, and we had, for all intents and purposes, the best possible outcome. This time, that's not going to be the case. I wanted to show off just how dark the story can become due to your choices and your decisions, because the choices and decisions have real heavy consequences. And since the third chapter of this game is coming out at the end of this month, I thought this was a good time to do it. Now, before we dive in any further, I will say, during my attended recording of this game recently, I have run into some frame rate issues, so it does not affect the game when you're playing, only are in the recording process. And rather than having those issues sort of be noticed and commented upon, I'm just saying them out here now. So let's start, Sally. Right, what do we want to call ourselves? I believe we should call ourselves Kerry. I have a book of names that I use for when I'm recording with their meanings, and Kerry comes up as Dark One, which seems rather fitting for the Darkest Timeline. Let us live in... As we live... Ooh. Let us say... Yeah, well, Jason came from Truro. Then both come from the same place. Different people from the same place, different walks of life. Let us see how this develops. Now, what pronoun should we play? Or should we have? I'm going to have her as play a female character this time. So let's go with her. Now it's traits. Street smart is a very nice trait. How to lie, how when you're being lied to, and slick in conversations, no door can hold you. Now, that is an interesting thing to have. I am very tempted to do that, to be honest. So let's go with street smarts, and I think we'll go with keen eye as well. Because Kerry sees probably not someone who isn't above the laws. He's probably someone who's a bit devious and very perceptive, but it's always out for her own interest. You jolt awake as the bus hits a particular nasty bump. You feel like you'd only just managed to start drifting off, and now here you are awake again, sitting exhausted. Awake again and still exhausted. For a moment, you're hazy on the details, where exactly here is, confusing this bus with many others that has come before it. But as your mind continues to reassert its existence in the waking world, the past few days come back into focus. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops in seedy depots that felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. Wouldn't normally find yourself travelling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral for Perlina Scarlet, your cousin's mother, and your aunt seemed like something you shouldn't ignore. Even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship outside the family, probably Kerry doesn't care about ignoring it. She's probably one of those kind of people that she's been invited to go to this wedding, go to this funeral, and she's going along to see if she can get anything out of it for herself. She's quite a selfish person. Fortunately, the end of your long journey is in sight. You're almost in Scarlet Hollow. So, anyway, as I was saying, there's just a stranger sitting next to you. Oh no, he's still here. He's been sitting next to you for the past 5 hours, talking to you without pause. You're not sure he's even stopped when you started to doze off. At first you thought he was just being friendly, but that was several hours ago, and one-sided conversations. I was up in Maryland looking for work. But mostly messing around because I was a dumb teen. Me and my buddies were doing our usual prank stuff, you know, pushing joggers into the harbour, that sort of thing. Let's see our dialogue choices. Wait, what? Dude, what's wrong with you? Hell yeah, that sounds awesome. Remain silent. Probably Kerry doesn't really care. Like, yeah, pushing joggers into the harbour is probably not the most intelligent thing to do. But he doesn't really care, so he's not going to basically call him out in it. You do your best to keep blank face, waking up and by extension accidentally giving the strange man permission to talk to you was a mistake. So this girl comes up to us, swinging her purse, yelling about how she was going to call the cops or whatever. It was hilarious. She actually hit my friend and he said it hurt a lot, so I guess he really was mad, not just playing, says the stranger. She kept swinging, and soon enough she lost her balance and fell into the harbour all on her own. We didn't even have to push her. We had a good laugh and fished her out, and her phone got soaked, so she couldn't call the cops on us. We wound up hanging out all day. She kind of became my girlfriend after that, and we'd been on and off for about a year, so it's pretty serious. Though about 5 months ago she tried to break up with me, like for real, and geez, you ever just get so mad you just want to like kill somebody? He looks at you. Now here comes our choices. With street smarts we can say stop trying to get a rise out of me. Like Kerry knows that this guy's just trying to yank her chain and basically get a reaction. Threaten, I can feel like killing someone right now. Never felt that way, no. Oh yeah, all the time. What's wrong with you? Smile and pretend you didn't just say that. No, Kerry's grown up on the rougher side of churros. She knows exactly when someone is just trying to get a rise out of her, so stop trying to get a rise out of me. Stop it, says Kerry. Stranger says, stop what? Trying to look innocent. Whatever it is you're thinking you're doing right now. You know what I'm talking about. This whole cornered the stranger on the bus and tried to make them uncomfortable act. I'm not playing along, sighs Kerry as he starts down in her seat. Right, alright. Maybe I never really wanted to kill her, even if I threatened it a little bit, chuckles the stranger. Anyway, she's giving birth to my son right now, so I'm trying to get up to Virginia to be fair for it. But I don't know if I'm like into that stuff, so I might just wind up on a bus to New York or something instead. Always wanted to go there. Keen eye, serious, let's see. I think I'll probably go keen eye, to be honest. Yeah, do you love her enough to make this work? You were so worked up by the thought of losing her that you threatened to kill her, but now that she's giving birth to a child you've created together, you're planning on running off, snorts Kerry. Even if you love her, think about whatever that love is strong enough that you'll be able to handle raising a kid together. Think about how your actions are going to impact his life, and whatever removing yourself will be better for him in the long run. Like, Kerry's just, she doesn't have a filter, she doesn't get on with people, she just tells it as it is. Like, if she wants to lie, she'll lie, but like when she wants to be straight about something, she'll be straight about something. Yeah, good stuff to think about for sure. He sort of dismisses you as he glances at his phone. Anyway, where'd you say you were heading? You look at him. I didn't. Yeah, Kerry's not going to let this weirdo know where she's going. No need to be nasty, laughs the stranger. I just was asking. Not like I'm going to follow you off the bus or anything. So, if you ain't getting off at my stop, then you must be heading to Scarlet Hollow, right? Or the Holler, as they call it in these parts. That's the only other stop until this bus turns around. I ride it pretty often, so I know. Almost nobody ever goes up that way. Well, come to think of it, I had a couple of buddies who went up there to work in the mine. There's a coal mine up in the Holler, you see, and there's always a job listing or two on the boards around here. I'd never wanted to do this kind of work, that kind of work thing myself. I like my lungs the way they are, thanks. But my buddies got desperate enough to try it. I haven't heard from them in a while, now that I think about it. I should see if they're on Facebook, see how they're doing up there. Hope they didn't die, he laughs. He looks back at his phone, for once focused on something other than you. Oh, this is me. It was lovely meeting you. Hope you don't get too bored without me around to talk to. He chuckles. Here, I have something for you. The stranger rifles through the pack before presenting you with a dripping bag of peanuts. They're boiled peanuts. I got them at a gas station a few buses back. I noticed you haven't eaten much, but I figured you could use them more than me. Plus, they're dripping all over my bag, so I don't want them to carry them anymore. Sometimes picking a dialogue option establishes new facts about who you are. Nice, I love boiled peanuts. Take the peanuts, no thanks. Screw you and screw your peanuts. Now, like, Kerry's just I'm pretty sure Kerry's just like done with this bloke. Like, he's been bothering her the entire trip. Screw you and screw your peanuts, she mutters. Hey man, I'm just trying to be friendly. Look, there's still a good 45 minutes left in your journey, pal. Assuming nothing goes wrong, best to have them on hand. The young man sets the peanuts down on an empty seat next to him. The juices dribble out through the bottom of the bag and into the upholstery, instantly soaking it in peanut brine. And with that, I'll leave you safe travels, friend. Probably Kerry gives him like the finger as he walks away behind his back. Him and his cruddy peanuts. Just like that, you're alone, the strangest peanut soaking into the seat across from you. Maybe you can finally get some sleep. The bus driver's voice echoes out over the internal speakers. Next stop, Scarlet Hollow. End of the line. It drones. Almost there, you think. The bus finally comes to a stop. Its brakes squeal as it deposits you in front of the Scarlet Hollow bus station. The sign at least reads bus station, but calling it feels disingenuous. At best it's a kiosk. Well, for a small town like this, you're amazed there's so much as a road, let alone a bus that drives on it every week. Yeah, if you look at the schedule on the kiosk, you can see here, arrives Monday 11 AM, departs Monday 11:01 AM, so it comes once a week. How delightful. The driver quickly shuts the doors behind you and starts the engine, kicking up a dust cloud as he pulls away, eager to leave you in this place behind. And Kerry can't blame him. Like, there's rundown buildings, like a building right next to the bus kiosk is for sale or for rent. And then out from nowhere appears a pale blonde woman. Hey, Kerry, says the stranger. You instantly recognise the worn young woman from the few public photos on her Facebook page. She's your cousin, Tabitha, and she looks annoyed to be here. Looks like someone needs a hug. Hey, Tabitha, you give your condolences, remain silent. Yes, let's play the platitude card. Kerry, I'm so sorry for your loss, Tabitha. You drone out. Not really meaning it, but she doesn't have to know. Yes, great, thank you, says your cousin as he rolls her eyes. Let's get back to the estate. I don't want to spend any more time down here than I have to. She junks her finger over her soda. Your cousin turns and motions to an old BMW parked near the bus kiosk. You follow her, clambering into the dusty relic. It doesn't take much driving before the only signs of civilization are the car you're in and the road you're on. Tabitha maintains an icy silence as he focuses on the road. Tip: dialogue options labelled Explore can usually be taken without advancing the story. They can impact relationships and unlock additional story paths, so choose carefully. So let's see, we have the Explore options coming up now. How are you holding up? I guess we're both members of the Dead Mums Club now, huh? So the funeral, can't believe we never actually met. Let's go with probably the safest option to start off with. Like, Kerry's just probably trying to make small talk. She doesn't really know her cousin. So, funeral. It's on Sunday, right? She matters. Yep, like I told you, says Tabitha. Geez, almost a whole week. Need any help planning? Have you worked out the details? Let's go with have you worked out the details yet? Have you worked out the details yet? Carrie inquires. Taking care of it, don't need any help, says Tabitha. How are you holding up? Says Carrie. Fine, replies Tabitha. Street smart, you don't have to hide how you're feeling for me. Are you sure? You seem tense. Now let's go with tense. Yeah, we'll go keen-eye and go tense. Are you sure? You alright? You seem tense, you know. You can talk to me, right? I went through something similar when my own mother passed. She tenses up even more at that mention of your mum, before letting out a heavy sigh. Maybe it's a sore spot for her. You quickly apologise. I'm sorry. I know that's probably not what you're looking to hear right now. Look, I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine, really. Yep, like, I'm probably gonna go guess we're both members of the Dead Mums Club, huh? Like, Carrie is a rather uncaring individual, so she'd probably just say that, like, just to see how her cousin reacts. I guess we're both members of the Dead Mums. Sorry, I guess we're both members of the Dead Mums Club now, huh? She draws a glance out the window. Your cousin turns to stare at you, an icy hatred in her eyes. Maybe this would have worked to ease the tension if she was someone else, but she isn't. She turns back to the road, her expression cold and unforgiving. Carrie just basically inwardly probably winces a little bit, like, that didn't go quite as planned, oh well, but she doesn't care. Can't believe we never actually met before this. Can't believe we never actually met before this, says Carrie. Yep, you have your mum to thank for that. Or had, I guess, mutters Tabitha. It was unnecessary. Is there bad blood between us? I wish I had known about you. Remain silent. Like, Carrie probably doesn't care, but she's going to ask the question that she wants to know, which is there bad blood between us, because she's basically coming here to see if she can get something out of it herself. I'm sorry, but is there bad blood between us? All I know is my mum left and she was mad at the side of the family, but I don't know much besides that. Your cousin stares straight ahead, her expression icy. Ah well. Carrie doesn't care what her cousin thinks. You decide to sit in silence with your cousin as the car eases up the steep mountain road. And here it is, the Scarlet Estate. Though it's seen better days, its crumbling eloquence is not lost on you. Someone used to cramped apartments in grey cities. Your mother told you about this place many times before she passed, always with an anger burning beneath her words. The faded majesty you once imagined doesn't quite compare with what's in front of you, a jarring blend of opulence and ruin. As you stare at it perched on the crumbling cliff side, you can't help but feel like it's something that should have been left to rot a long, long time ago. As soon as you enter, you're hit with a blast of dusty air. Everything in this room has been here for much longer than you've been alive, each object cemented in place with layers of dust and cobwebs. You can hear doors creak on their hinges and the aches and moans of ancient floorboards as the house itself sways in the wind. Your cousin steps in front of you. "Welcome to our family's humble estate," says Tabitha. "Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay." She waves a hand around. "I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out," she intones. "If you know what's good for you, you'll stick to your room, your bathroom, and the kitchen, and the hallways, I guess. But only the hallways you need to use to get to those places. I'll show you around so you know where it's safe to walk. You can leave your bags here for the time being." Yeah, I think that Kerry is just going to straight up lie. Like, she's one of these manipulative kind of people. She knows that her best choice or her best options at this time and place is to try and carry some favour of her cousin. So she's probably going to lie about the state of the house just to sort of placate her cousin's sensibilities. "It's beautiful," lies Kerry. "I don't think I've ever been in a building that feels as powerful as this." You're lying for your teeth, but Tabitha doesn't need to know that. In fact, no one does. Not only does she not need to know that you're lying, but she won't know, ever. You're very good. You're a very good liar. That Kerry is. It is. The estate was a prized jewel of this region for a long time. It's quite a magnificent piece of architecture, even now, says your cousin. "Shall we take our tour? Follow me." Put your bags down and follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. She delicately steps over holes and tears in the floor, and you do your best to trace her steps. "I am very sorry about that, folks. I should have tried to hit the pause button for that sneeze. Now that would have wrecked my audio." It's almost like the dust from the hallways has got into my own nostrils. You enter the kitchen. On Wednesdays, a woman comes in and does the cleaning. Her name is Jenny. I wouldn't recommend socializing with her. She'll talk your ear off. If you need any food, there's fixings for peanut butter and jelly. Don't touch my mac and cheese or my ice cream. Those are off limits. Oh, and you can also access the garden through here, but it's pretty wild, so I wouldn't if I were you. Tips some explore options prevent you from taking others. Choose carefully. Yeah. Someone cleans this place. The place is nice. No, like, Kerry's just going to lie again. He's just got a straight up lie. I've always dreamed of having a kitchen like this. The kitchen is probably originally much nicer than her own place. But she's still just got to lie. Like, she's just going to lie until she makes it. Like, fake it till you make it. I've always dreamed of having a kitchen like this. It's so much bigger than what I'm used to in the city. Is that a kitchen sink? Or a kitchen island? It is, thank you, says Tabitha. Yeah, awesome. I love PB&J. I'm just going to go down the list and clear them. I love PB&J. How did you know it was one of my favourites, says Kerry. That smile can't be real, she thinks to herself as she looks at her cousin's face. I didn't, but good for you, says Tabitha. Is there somewhere is there somewhere in town to buy food? You inquire. I might want to eat something other than PB&J this week. Is there somewhere in town we can get groceries? Well, aren't you fancy? Yeah, there's a general store. There's also a diner. I usually order my food in bulk online though, so I wouldn't be going with you, says Tabitha. Well, if he survives off, well, what looks like to be peanut butter and jelly and ice cream, no wonders he has such a pale complexion. General store, how folksy. I'm your guest. Oh, I didn't actually have a budget for groceries this week. Sweet, thanks. Yeah. Let's see. General store, how folksy. Guest. Yeah, like probably goes. Let's go. General store, how folksy. General store, how folksy. Use seasoned tones. Is it? It's a store that fulfills your general shopping needs. General store just describes what it is, says Tabitha. What if I want some ice cream? You ask. Then you can go buy yourself some at the general store. If you touch my stash, I will know and there will be consequences, says Tabitha sharply. Alright, what's next? Bathroom, follow me, says Tabitha. Great, it's been hours since I've gone, you say. As the two of you leave the kitchen, you pass by a tuxedo cat sitting on the countertop. Is that your cat? What's his name? You say. Frou-Frou, do not try and pet her. If she wants to be petted, she'll let you know. Yeah, we'll probably pet her when your cousin isn't looking. You decide to follow Tabitha's advice. So we move on. The bathroom awaits, says your cousin. You once again follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. Maybe after a few nights you'll get easier to navigate these spaces, but for the time being you feel lucky to not have fallen through the floors. Guest bathroom, not much to show. It's a bathroom. I'll wait outside. Do what you must. Do what you must if you must, says your cousin. It is nasty. A wretched bathroom. Piles of junk sits untouched in the corners of the room. Mysterious stains paint the floors. Yeah, Kerry is really just going to lie. Like, this is probably as worse as some of the sort of depot bathrooms he's been in, like train station, bus station bathrooms he's been in. I absolutely love it. I've always wanted one of those bathtubs with the little feet on them. Got little feet on it. Glad you like it. My bathtub is extremely valuable. Antique, says your cousin through the door. Let's go to the next option. Who exactly uses this bathroom? You inquire. Guests, comes the reply. And are you sure the toilet still works? Says Kerry. Yes, why wouldn't it? The water bills get paid, therefore the toilet works. Now do your business so we can move on. You sigh in resignation. Okay, says Kerry. That's the spirit, says your cousin. Lift the toilet seat. Bugs skitter from the bowl as you lift the seat. You're good, actually. Use the facilities. Yeah, well, a toilet is a toilet, so let's use it. A toilet is a toilet, sure, it could be cleaner, but your business needs doing, and this is as good a place as any. You do what you must and rejoin your cousin out in the hall. Next up, guest bedroom. Last stop on the tour, follow me, says your cousin, as he takes point. You and Tabitha briefly return to the foyer before clambering the stairs and reaching the guest room. The room smells old, dust, mildew, wood rot, it has it all. A week of sleep in this place might give you a permanent lung damage. This is where you'll be staying. The linens are fresh. I have had Jenny wash them last week. I had to endure half an hour round about her kid. to get her to do it, so you better be grateful. The closet is full of old family stuff, so don't hang the clothes up, but you can use the dresser, it should be empty. What of all the boxes, you say? Oh, family stuff. So old family stuff, says your cousin. Offer to help move them. Kind of family stuff. Yeah, let's say what kind of family stuff. Kind of family stuff, you say? You ask. Unimportant family stuff, sighs Tabitha. Yeah, we're just gonna keep lying. It seems her cousin hasn't caught on to the fact, and we can get ourselves some brownie points which may help us down the line. What an inviting room. How do you know over how much I love cherubs? That chest is to die for, you say. I'm surprised to see that you have such discerning taste. Every last piece of furniture in this room is a genuine antique, handed down through the family for generations. Let's go if we used to sleep here. We used to sleep here, you inquire. When? This house is almost 150 years old, says your cousin. Many, many people have slept here. And now you will sleep here, carrying on the fine tradition of bedrooms being slept in. I guess I get settled in then. You turn around, I guess I'll start to get settled, you say. Follow me, I'll take you back to the foyer so you can collect your belongings. This concludes the tour, says your cousin. I'm afraid I must return to my duties, so you'll have to entertain yourself for the rest of the day. Don't expect to see much of me. Tip, some dialogue options will open a distant conversation path, some right away, others down the line. There's bad blood between our mums, it doesn't have to be between us. Where are you going? What am I supposed to do when you're gone? Are you sure you can't take the day off? Now, I think I will take... Kerry's probably going to try and carry favour with her cousin. Or at least appear to try and carry favour with her. She's out to serve her own interest after all. I don't know what happened when my mum left, but that has nothing to do with me. You asked me to come here, but you're acting all pissed off. But I actually came. Can't we just start fresh? Now it's just us, says Kerry. Tabitha looks at you. Look, I'm sorry I've been testy since you've got here, but you haven't exactly been easy. I'm under a lot of pressure right now, says your cousin. Just stay out of my hair, okay? I have work to do. It seems that this bad blood isn't going to go away. What kind of work do you do? You inquire. I run the coal mine, says Tabitha. Same as every Scarlet who came before me. Except for you and your mother. It requires a lot of time and concentration, so I appreciate it if you don't keep me for long. Yeah, let's go. I didn't know we owned a coal mine. Yeah, let's go with that option. I didn't know we owned a coal mine. We don't own the coal mine. I own the coal mine. Your side of the family forfeited any claims to it years ago. Seems to be a sensitive point for Tabitha, you think. Can I come and watch? You inquire. What? No. The mine is dangerous. I can't babysit you and do my job. Good for you. Sounds boring. That's kind of sad. Gross. Hashtag girl boss remain silent. Probably just gonna go, sounds boring. Yeah. Sounds pretty boring, you say. I don't think my job has to entertain me. It's what I have to do because it needs doing, says Tabitha. I don't think of it as boring or exciting. In the same way, I don't think of cleaning a toilet or painting a wall as either of those things. It's a task. One of those class could use more doing. That's a healthy mindset. That's kind of sad. Remain silent. Nah, let's go to healthy mindset. It seems that Tabitha doesn't like you, and Kerry's just got to basically try and placate her. Seems like a good way of looking at a job. Instead of convincing yourself you have to be doing the thing you love, the most it's okay to just have a job, you say. Yeah, exactly. Would I rather be doing something else with my life? Maybe. But I know I had to take over the company, so I think about other stuff I could be doing. Your cousin basically explains. Let's see. What am I supposed to be doing while you're gone? You say. What am I supposed to be doing while you're gone? You inquire. That's a very demanding job I should be getting back to right now, but doesn't include figuring out activities for you to occupy your time with, says your cousin softly. I'm not your babysitter. Why don't you, I don't know, go walk around in the town or something until you get tired? There are historical buildings to look at. I'm sure you will have a good time. That unsettling smile comes out once again. Can you take me into town? Yeah, let's go with that option. Do you think you can take me to town before you leave? You inquire. No. Just down the hill. It's just down the hill, explains your cousin. You can walk there yourself. Yeah, Kerry's not going to ask if he can take time off. She doesn't really want to spend time with her cousin. She just is trying to be polite. I won't keep. Let's go with this option. Alright, I won't keep you, but we should hang out when you get back, you say. If anything else, just to try and get in her good books. Think. We'll see. There's a lot that needs to get done this week, says her cousin. And she walks away. Her cousin leaves through the front door. And now it's just you and the sprawling, decrepit estate. Yep, and probably the first thing she's going to do is she's going to snoop around the areas that she's not supposed to. Partly because her cousin told her so, and partly because there might be something interesting she can find. With Tabitha gone, there's no one stopping you from going into the forbidden wings of the estate. Except for the locks and chains sealing them shut. Street smarts, an insurmountable obstacle for most, but a mild inconvenience for you. As the locks fall, the doors moan open, revealing an entrance to what once must have been an incredibly lavish ballroom. Faintly in the distance you can hear the quiet notes of an old piano playing from another room. The forbidden wings are yours to explore. Alright, let's enter. There might be something interesting inside. You can see why your cousin warned you against coming here. Deep gases tear across the floor, and years of detritus have turned what must have been a magnificent and old ballroom into a tight and claustrophobic maze. Keen-eyed, the piano you hear through the doorway has grown louder, and you feel pretty confident that it's coming from the other side of the obstructed glass doors ahead of you. It's probably just a self-playing model, but maybe you aren't alone here as you thought. Try and clear the furniture blocking the doorway. You head back towards the debris-blocked doorway. Well, you try with all your might, it's just too heavy for you to do anything more than budget. It's just too heavy for you to do anything more than budget. Examine the painting covering the far wall. You make your way over to the painting covering the far wall. It's a family tree. Angry black scratches cover the space where your mother should be. Yeah, you can see it up there, where our mother's portrait should be. So that should be our aunt. There's Tabitha. That's our grandmother. Mary something Bell. Mary Bells? Mary Bell? That was a historical name. So if maybe we can find a picture of Mary Bell, and that will be that maybe would be our grandmother, and see how the sister, who looks to have died quite young, man, the family didn't live too long, did it? Like, if you can see, there's only one main family tree. A lot of the other family trees seems to have died out, or maybe they were just erased from history. Like we were disowned for some reason. Let us leave this place. You return to the entrance of the sealed wing and carefully reattach the locks. After what you've seen and heard in the ballroom, you're weighing how much longer you should even stay in the estate on your own. Let's grab something to eat first, and then see if there's somewhere. Let's see if we catch some rest. You haven't had anything to eat all day, and the only thing louder than your stomach right now are the creaks and moans of the ancient of this ancient place. A PB&J sounds exactly like what you need to take the rest of the day. You head to the kitchen. You're back in the kitchen, all ready to craft a beautiful peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a daunting task, given the state of the place, but the aggressive growls of your stomach outweigh your fear of food poisoning. To get started, you'll probably need to find some peanut butter, some jelly, bread, and a plate and a knife. But first of all, you have to stroke the cat. The cat hisses at you as you draw near, but remains firmly in place. This is clearly Frou-Frou's spot on the counter. Let's try and pet her. You put out your hand and attempt to pet Frou-Frou. She bites you viciously. Honestly, what were you expecting? The cat emits a low growl as you cautiously back away. Nasty little blighter, you think. Let's search the fridge. As you approach the fridge, your eyes catch a note taped to the door reading "Jenny, stay out" in all caps. Below it, in a separate handwriting, are the words "Okie dokie." You open the fridge. You already feel a deep urge to wash your hands, even though you have yet to touch anything other than the handle. Examine the old takeout. Why did you do that? What were you expecting? This takeout container is disgusting beyond words. A liquefied mess, wholly congealed into its styrofoam cell. You can't even tell what it used to be. This substance doesn't just smell bad; it smells ancient. For God's sake, put it back here. I'm not going to eat that. Your body reacts before you even register what you're doing, compelled by deep primal disgust. You shove the container back into the fridge, pushing it into the depths of the cells and out of your mind. Hopefully, you can forget it exists and move on with your life. Check the mayonnaise. You know you probably shouldn't, but a part of you has to know how old the mayonnaise is. You pick up the jar, its label flaking in your hand. It's expired 10 years ago. This jar of mayonnaise is old enough to have graduated to 5th grade. Best to put it back and forget you ever saw it, you mutter. Take the jelly. You reach for one of those unopened jars of grape jelly, carefully checking its expiration date. You breathe a sigh of relief when you realise it's recent. This was either purchased specifically for you, or jelly is one of the few things in the kitchen Taffer actually uses. All you need now is a plate, a knife, bread, and some peanut butter. Better close the fridge and keep looking. Grab some ice cream. Tabitha explicitly told you not to do this, you think to yourself as you reach for a pint of banana chocolate chunk. Yeah, but you don't really care what Tabitha thinks. She'll be really mad if she finds out your conscience warns you as you take a scoop straight from the pint and shove it into your mouth. Before you know it, half of the container is empty. But Kerry is smart and she knows what to do. Hide the evidence. Surely she won't notice if each container of ice cream has a small, almost imperceptible scoop taken from it. You jam each of those scoops into the half-empty container until it's once again brimming with banana chocolate chunk. As you return it to its place on the shelf, your guilt subsides. Your cousin will be none the wiser. That and the fact that you didn't really care. You could have probably just shoved it right at the back of the freezer and put a new one in its place. Closed fridge. You return to the kitchen, closing the fridge behind you. Let's check the pantry. Tabitha sure loves her mac and cheese. But something catches your eye. At home gourmet. You squint in the darkness of the pantry. Behind the mouldy bread, a single book lies forgotten, a thin layer of dust collecting on its cover. You pick it up. At home gourmet. Calf brain aspic. Teddy's favourite. Served on toast with plain crackers. You flip to a bookmark page. Both calf's brain and aspic are unappetizing enough on their own, and you can only imagine how vile the combination of the two would be. What kind of person would call this their favourite food? No wonder your mum ran far, far away from this place. Aspic is basically a jelly. It's like a setting jelly. So having brought calf's brain set in like a jelly, ugh. On plain crackers. You shut the book and put it back into its place. We'll take some bread. You pick up one of those non-mouldy loaves of bread. Great. One step closer to a satisfying snack. All you need now is a plate and a knife and some peanut butter. Unfortunately, the peanut butter is right in front of us. The king of peanut butters, and only 3% of each jar is mashed up cockroaches. Rightio. Examine the mac and cheese. You pick up a box of Tabitha's mac and cheese. You can't say you've ever seen the brand before. You're not going to make mac and cheese, but we can play a trick on our cousin. She seems to be a rather uptight person, so let's just scare her a bit. Empty the box and stuff in a dead mouse on the shelf. You aren't sure what force of chaos compelled you to do this, but it's done. You close the box and tuck it far back behind the others. And then we'll close the pantry. You close the pantry door as best as you can and turn back to the rest of the kitchen. Let's search the cabinets. This cabinet must be where Tabitha keeps the dishware and, oddly enough, the utensils. Grab a plate and knife. This is the last ingredient you need to make your PB&J. Time to get working. Examine the mug. It reads, I was blown away at Blowing Rock, North Carolina, so your aunt and cousin actually travelled sometimes, even if it was only a few hours from the estate. Maybe you can route your return trip through Blowing Rock. It might be nice to see the local sites before heading home. Examine the shot glass. It reads, I survived Debbie's 50th. Your aunt's name was Perlina, so this wasn't her 50th. From the few stories you've heard from your mum, Perlina wasn't the type to have kitschy friends who gave out themed shot glasses at their birthday parties. Keen eye, maybe it belongs to Jenny. Very likely. You imagine she might need an alcoholic beverage to get through cleaning this place, especially with Tabitha's sour face peering over her soda. You reach for the bowl, but as you put it down, a blend of vinegar and dead moss splashes you, immediately staining your shirt. On the back of the bowl is a note that reads, Moth trap, do not touch. Whoops. Your shirt is now unpleasantly wet. You'll probably change into something clean before you leave the house. Carrie just sort of swears to herself. Close the cabinet and look back at the rest of the kitchen. Let's see. Let's make a PB&J. Even though you're already eaten at least half a pint of ice cream, your ravenous form quickly sets to work making a PB&J. A job well done. All that hassle, and it took you less than a minute to eat. The rest of the day lies in front of you. Let's check out the garden. Our cousin did say it was quite nice. This garden was reclaimed by the wilderness long ago. It might not be very safe, but who's to stop you from venturing deeper? You wander further into the garden. It's quiet out here. Then you return. Head back inside and close the door behind you. Done that, we are done here. Congratulations, you've eaten and have a full day ahead of you. What do you want to do next? Let's settle into our room. Now that you've finally eaten, the aches and pains of your journey have started to sink deep into your bones. You stumble up the stairs to your room, suitcase in tow, eager to unwind before you face the rest of the day. You stand at the entrance to your room. And I think this would be a good place to end for the day, lords and ladies. I've been Cornish-knight. This has been Scarlet Hollow, The Darkest Timeline, and I see you all again next time. Please like and subscribe, it helps me a lot. Goodbye.